Buongiorno ragazzi! Hello guys! Let's continue to explore the fascinating world of emotions in Italian. In the previous video, we learned how to express happiness, sadness, love, and affection in Italian. If you missed that video, no worries, you will find the link in the description below. Today, I'm going to share with you some essential Italian words to talk about more emotions like surprise, anger, or fear in Italian. As always, I'm going to share with you some example sentences so that you can see these words and how they work in real life and in real context. Now, remember that for this lesson, I prepared a PDF version that you can download for free. So just click on the link that you will find in the description below this video. Okay, let's start with some new words. Today we're going to start with words to express surprise and wonder. So the first word I want to share with you is the word for surprised, and that in Italian is sorpreso. Okay. Sorpreso. Sorpreso. That means surprised. And you use that the same way as in English. So if you want to say he was surprised for the birthday party, how would you say that? Era sorpreso per la festa di compleanno. So, festa di compleanno is birthday party in Italian. And as always, we use the verb essere to say to be when talking about emotions. So, he was surprised, era sorpreso. Molto bene. Okay, let's move on to another word, which is the word for amazed. Now, this is a very interesting word and usually makes my students laugh. So, why? Let's see this word. The word for amazed in Italian is stupito. Now, how would you spell that word? What do you think am I saying? I know, confess it. I know that most of you are probably thinking of the word for stupid, because you know stupido. They look very similar, so this is what happens when I tell students this word. They get confused. They're like, oh, are you saying stupid? No, we have two very similar words that mean two very different things. So I'm going to type the word for amazed first, and I'm going to repeat it. And then I'm going to type the word for stupid, and I'm going to repeat it, and you will be able to tell the difference. So let's begin with amazed. That's stupito. Stupito. That means amazed. Now, the word for stupid in Italian is stupido. Stupido. Can you start noticing the difference? So the two differences I want to highlight are these. First, the spelling. The first word ends with a T. So amazed ends with a T, stupito. Whereas stupid ends with a D, stupido, stupido, D. The second difference, I hope you're starting to hear it, is where the stress is. Because in the word for amazed, stupito, where is the stress? It's on the it's on the second to last vowel, which is the I, stupito. So now I'm going to do something that we don't really do when writing in Italian, but I always do this with my students to highlight this point. I'm going to type this with the stress mark. So that would be stupito. I'm spending more time on the I, stupito. In stupid, the stress is not there. The stress is in a different place. Try to hear it. Stupido. Stupido. Where is that I'm spending more time? Where am I pausing for longer? Stupido. Esatto. On the U. So let me show you this visually so it's easier to remember. Stupido. See? So there are two different words with two different spellings and two different pronunciation, but they're very similar. So don't confuse them. The word we're going to focus today is the first one, stupito, which means amazed. So I'm going to remove this to avoid confusion. Okay, the word stupito means amazed, and it's used the same way as in English. So let's suppose we want to say they were amazed by the goodness of Italian food. I think it's a pretty accurate sentence. How would you say that? Erano stupiti dalla bontà del cibo italiano. Oops, no, quello non è italiano. That's not Italian. Italiano. Erano stupiti dalla bontà del cibo italiano. They were amazed by the goodness of Italian food. Now, if this is the first video you watch of this series, and you missed the previous one, in the previous one I talked more about how you need to change the word that comes after _. In this case we're using they were, so that's still _ with the tense imperfetto, erano. The next word, it's an adjective and needs to change to match the subject, the gender, masculine or feminine, and the number, singular or plural, of the subject. So since we're using they were, that's plural, we use erano stupiti. If you want to learn more about this topic, specifically with emotions, in my previous video that we will find in the description, I talk more about this point. Va bene? So have a look at that one too after you finish this one. Okay, let's move on to one more word to express surprise and amazement. And that word is the word for astonished. How do we say astonished in Italian? That is meravigliato. Meravigliato. You may have heard meraviglioso, same root. That means wonderful, marvelous in Italian. Meravigliato means astonished. Okay, so let's suppose we want to say he was astonished by the beauty of the landscape. How would you say that? Don't worry if you don't know a few words. Try to make the most of the sentence. He was astonished by the beauty of the landscape. Era meravigliato dalla bellezza del paesaggio. So we're learning a few more words with these example sentences. Landscape in Italian is paesaggio and beauty is bellezza, whereas goodness is bontà. Okay? So two more words. Bontà means goodness and bellezza means beauty. Okay, and that was meravigliato. Okay, let's move on to more words, but this time we're going to talk about words to express anger and frustration. Sometimes we may need these kind of words, so let's learn them. The word for angry in Italian is arrabbiato. Arrabbiato. Okay? Same usage as in English. Okay, so let's make a sentence, an example sentence. Let's suppose we want to say, she was very angry for the delay. She was very angry, she, for the delay. Era, she was, molto, very, arrabbiata, because she, lei era molto arrabbiata per il ritardo, the delay. Era molto arrabbiata per il ritardo. So in this sentence we changed arrabbiato to arrabbiata because we're referring to a woman. Ok, un'altra parola, another word, un'altra parola for anger and frustration is furious. We have the same word in Italian. Very similar, of course it's spelled differently and it's pronounced slightly differently. And that is furioso. Furioso. So that means furious. Okay, let's make an example sentence with this. They, so let's make it this plural this time. They were furious for the injustice suffered. Now, I know injustice suffered is probably a little bit difficult to figure out how to say that in Italian, so don't worry about that. But I want you to focus how to say they were furious. Think about that. Erano furiosi. erano furiosi. Molto bene. Now let's see the rest of the sentence. For the injustice suffered, per l'ingiustizia, ingiustizia, subita, that means suffered, subita. Erano furiosi per l'ingiustizia subita. Ok, molto bene. Let's see one more word for this kind of emotions, and that word is the word for irritated. We have that word too in Italian. It's again very similar. Irritato. Irritato. Okay. Let's suppose we want, so irritato as in English, we use that when we are a little bit angry, not super angry, but like annoyed, usually annoyed by something. Irritato. Let's suppose we want to say he was irritated because of the constant noise. He was irritated because of the constant noise. How would you say that? Era irritato a causa, sì, del rumore costante. Ok, perfetto. Era irritato a causa del rumore costante. Va bene? Perfetto. Okay, let's learn a few more words. This time we're going to focus on words for fear and anxiety. Again, all words that I hope you will never need, but they're good to know. So this word, the first word is the word for scared or frightened. That word in Italian is spaventato. Spaventato. Okay, that means scared. So let's suppose we want to say he was scared by the sudden noise. How would you say he was scared? And the sudden noise, you know how to say that, but if you don't know sudden, no problem. We're going to learn in a moment. He was scared. Era spaventato dal rumore improvviso. That's how we say sudden. Era spaventato dal rumore improvviso. Va bene? So remember, spaventato means scared or frightened. Ok, un'altra parola, one more word, is the word for anxious. In Italian that is ansioso. 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 So if we want to say, for example, she's anxious for tomorrow's exam, how would you say that in Italian? Again, focus on how you would say she is anxious. Remember, we need to change the word that comes after essere. È ansiosa. È ansiosa perché lei è ansiosa per l'esame di domani. For tomorrow's exam. È ansiosa per l'esame di domani. Perfetto. Okay, one final word that can be helpful in real life, and that's the word for worried. That in Italian is preoccupato. Now, this is a false friend. Preoccupato doesn't mean preoccupied. It means worried in Italian. Preoccupato. Preoccupato. Perfetto. So let's suppose we want to say we are worried for her health. How would you say that? Siamo preoccupati perché è plurale, because it's plural, we, per la sua salute. Siamo preoccupati per la sua salute. That's how you say worried in Italian. Ok ragazzi, there you have it, 9 more words to express emotions in Italian. I hope you enjoyed this video too. If you missed the previous one, don't forget to check that out too. And let me know which one of these words was new to you or which one is your favorite one in a comment below the video. Also, don't forget to download your free PDF for this lesson. Just click on the link that you will find in the description. È tutto per oggi, that's all for today. Buona giornata e a presto. Ciao da Valentina.